Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Friday the 26th of September 2025. We're going to start off today's video with the result from tonight's game, the under-21s. Did you watch it? Did you see it? Yep, pretty decent game, I think we got very lucky to get a point. Wolves very good at passing the ball around. Maybe if their finishing was a bit sharper, we could have come unstuck. But the thing with the Millwall teams, they got a lot of gumption, and they keep going right until the end, and they ended up nicking the points. So under 21s it back to gain Premier League Cup point. And this is from millfc.co.uk, Mill's official website. Mill's under 21 secured a late point at the Den in the side's first ever Premier League Cup match as they took on Wolves under 21s on Friday night. Frankie Baker's late goal rescued the point for the Lions in match day 1 in the Premier League Cup group stage. Wolves had the better of the opening chances, with Mackenzie Bradbury hitting the crossbar with a dipping strike for 25 yards just 2 minutes into the match. Daniel Mang headed over 6 minutes later for the visitors after an excellent cross from Fletcher Holman, before George Evans was called into action in the young Lions goal, saving a close-range effort from Holman and an edge-of-the-box strike by Thomas Edozie. Edozie, that's interesting. Is he related to the other Edozie that was at Millwall? Kevin Nugent's side began to grow into the game after a quarter of an hour, winning a corner after some excellent pressing, but the corner was cleared. The Premier League Cup debutants continued to build momentum with some counter-attack in play, but failed to test the opposition's goal. After dominating the final 15 of the half, the visitors broke the deadlock as Mang dispossessed Elias Mensah and slid the ball just through Evans' legs with a right-footed finish in the first half, injury time to secure his second goal in as many appearances. The hosts were unlucky not to equalise right at the beginning of the half, with some excellent team play from the midfield to the final third, seeing the ball fall to Ben Drake, whose brilliant ball flashed across goal, but substitute Jaden Thomas-Smith couldn't quite get there to turn it in. It was the West Midlands side's turn to have the big opportunity, with Ethan Sutherland's low cross from the left side meeting Manga's feet, whose left-footed strike from 12 yards that followed rattled the crossbar. The half continued in end-to-end fashion, with Edozie seeing a header saved for the away side, Jaden Celestine Charles having a shot blocked from inside the box, and Edward Payton firing over from 18 yards for Millwall. The final 10 minutes of proceedings were dominated by Kevin Nugent's side, and the deserved equaliser came when Lewis Benjamin in the visitors' net failed to clear his lines from outside his box, allowing Frankie Baker to pick up the ball and place it into an empty net in the 87th minute for his third of the season. Well, before then, there was a red card, wasn't there? I think it was 2 yellow cards, and the guy got sent off. So they were down to 10 men. That's why we were that's why we were dominating the final 10 minutes. I believe so. This domination continued to the 8 minutes of injury time, but the score ended 1-1 on a historic night for the Young Lions as they gained an excellent point with a resilient performance against the Premier League's 2 side. Attention turns to Tuesday as the Lions are back in Professional Development League action, taking on Cardiff City away from home. Yeah, this is they're a Category 1 under 21 side. Wolves, they are seemingly in the higher division, if you could call it. It's separate, like they're not really, it is tiered, it is a hierarchy in some sense, but they are kind of separate. So it's not beyond the realms that teams in Category 2 could beat teams in Category 1. It's not, it is not like, so we don't have a team, which is annoying, but I did post it out on YouTube in a post. So if you just give me 1 second, I can pull it up on my phone and read it to you live. Right, so in goal was George Evans, and then it was Beaumont, Drake was captain, Whitby, Snellgrove, that's the name of I haven't heard, I think it might be under 18, Mansour, Benicio Baker, Sugita Vieira, Frankie Baker, Celestine Charles and Sheldon Kendall. And the subs were Lindner, the goalkeeper, Kirby, Thomas Smith, Payton and Parks. So obviously we know Kirby, Thomas Smith and Payton got on. Don't know about Parks. But interesting there, Benicio Baker. Benicio Baker. There were some mad fucking rumours, I think on X or somewhere, so on the forum, that Benicio Baker had left the club, that they had like fired him or something. And I don't know what the hell that was about. No idea. Maybe, he hasn't played in the last 2 under-21 games. Maybe, he was like maybe he was like turning up late or things like that. Much like, it wasn't not last season, the season before when Harris was here. And basically, the last game of the season, Swansea, he dropped Obafemi and Nisbet and said, they're late to training too much, so they can sit this one out. So maybe something like that has gone on, but mad rumours saying that Benicio Baker's been sacked by the club. So how does that work? Like, how do you? Well, I guess there are rules in place, probably for that you could get rid of a player. But if they're under contract, there will be ways to cancel the contract. But he played. So what was everyone talking about? I don't know. Just sheer bullshit that people talk. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know if there's any truth in that whatsoever, or whether he just he was injured again. I don't know, but he played today. It was all right. So this is the Wikipedia page for this year's Premier League Cup competition, and as you can see, we're the first and only game so far in Group G. Baker scored in the 88th minute. Angel scored in the 45th plus 5 minutes. We don't play again in this competition until November. And before we play, Swansea got 2 more games. Nottingham Forest have got 2 more games. And Wolves have got 2 more games. So we're going to be on the back foot. Or in that we will be behind. Because these teams, unless all of these games are draws, which would be insane, we're probably going to be, dropped down to 3rd, maybe even 4th. So, we're going to be behind, and we're going to know, you need to win this game to climb up the table. So, interesting. Rather annoyingly, so our last game is the 20th of December. That's going to be a Saturday, by the way. The Saturday before Christmas. Good idea to put that on. Hopefully, if we win that game, or the result of that game, will determine whether we are in the top 2. Because there is a game 2 days later, and hopefully we don't want to be waiting on the result of the other game. Because then, they'll know what they need to do. Hopefully it's not a case of, if like, what was it, Germany-Austria in the World Cup in the 70s? Like, if we draw, we're both going to go through, so let's both draw. Hopefully it's not one of them, because that would be a kick in the bollocks. Just Bromley there. They beat Sunderland, by the way. So, what are they doing down at Bromley? They've got a decent youth team down there, no? So, that's what it looks like so far. We will, of course, keep you updated on the Daily Mail. And, seemingly all of these games should be open to the public. Mill's home games are at the Den. The away game with Forest is at Loughborough University FC. The away game with Wolves is at Kidderminster. And the away game at Swansea is in their youth ground that has a 500-person seater stand. And I think they have a space of 500 to stand as well. So, there you go. Now, we've got this. And then we're going to get into the Swansea preview. So this is from southernnews.co.uk. Good to see the big man finally on the pitch with us. Millwall goalkeeper returns to training. Millwall goalkeeper Lukas Jensens has returned to training on grass as he steps up his recovery from a torn Achilles. Jensens, 26, has been out since April after suffering the injury in training. Jensens joined current first choice Stephen Bender, George Evans and Joel Coleman as they were put through their paces by goalkeeper coach Dean Thornton. Yeah, they put out a video on Millwall TV about that. Former Lincoln City stopper Jensens looked quick on his feet as Thornton instructed the goalkeepers in their technical drills. Jensens moved quickly over and back across his goal line to catch shots aimed at him. He was shown doing slightly less vigorous work than his colleagues. Oh, the big Lucas is going to be out with us today. He's back on the grass for the first time with us. Thornton told Millwall TV ahead of the season. Again, part of his programme, real precaution, getting him back on the pitch and getting a bit of hand-eye coordination. It'll be good to see the big man finally on the pitch with us. It'll be a delight. Afterwards, Jensen said, great session, you're back on the grass and I can't wait to see you all. Not being funny, but surely you don't forget how to be a fucking goalkeeper. He has to relearn hand-eye coordination. I mean, Jesus. Now, I understand, you need to build up your leg muscles because maybe your muscles in your legs wasted away because you weren't able to use them properly. I understand that. But, you have to relearn how to catch a ball. Really? Not sure about that, Chief. Not sure about that. Now, some more pre-match comments from Alex Neil. We've got this one and then another one, then we're going to start previewing the game. Millwall was confident ahead of Swansea City clash, believes Watford victory provides momentum for a 3-game run before the international break. Yeah, we've got 3-game run then in the international break. It's going to be Saturday, Swansea away, Wednesday, Coventry at home, and then Saturday, West Brom at home, who they drew today. More on that in a minute. So Alex Neil insisted he was confident going into every game ahead of Mill's trip to Swansea City tomorrow. The Lions are unbeaten on the road this season. Oh no. It's going to have to come sometime. We're going to be beaten sometime away. Winning at Sheffield United and Norwich City and holding rivals Charlton to a 1-1 draw. And winning away at Newport. And drawing the game at Crystal Palace, but losing the tie and penalty. So, the Swans are similarly excellent at home, unbeaten in the past 10 games at Swansea.com Stadium in a run that stretches back to March. Asked by News at 10 if his side's away form gives him confidence heading into the tie, Neil said, I'm pretty confident, regardless of the game we're going into. People talk about the away form a lot at the moment. Half at home form was better than our away form at the end of last season. I just think you get spells where things click and, the lads are playing really well and the guys are performing and they're scoring goals. And you've got other spells throughout the season where there might be a little bit of a dip in confidence or a dip in form. Or we need to fluctuate how we play a lot, We might need to freshen things up, or we've got a couple of injuries, or, whatever you might have. And that's going to happen more across the season than what's happened already. I mean, there are going to be bits and pieces that we're going to be a bit frustrated by, but, we might not perform as well as we know we can. We might lose a couple of players, but they're just challenges we need to try and accept and roll with as the season develops. Millwall head into the match having won their first league home game this season on Monday, beating Watford 1-0 behind 1-0. Hang on, what? Beating Watford 1-0 behind Kamil Negley's first half free kick. I don't know what they're trying to say there. Beating Watford 1-0 because of Kamil Negley's first half free kick. Neil was asked if he was still as satisfied with the result as he was immediately after the game. When you take everything into account, your first home win in the league this season, first clean sheet at home in the season, Kamil scored a really good goal and had other opportunities in the game. He should score, should have had a penalty, and certainly now that I've seen it back, it was a stonewall decision for me. Then I thought we defended really well. Stephen, Bender, he parried the shot from distance. And then he had the one at the end where we lost the header from the corner. And that was pretty much what they had in the match. At this stage of the season, like most stages of the season, results are more important than anything else. And I think when we do get that win, it sets us up for the next 3 games before the break. The fact that we've still got strikers to get on the score sheet and start firing as well. So we've won 3 games already with that still to come. And it certainly will get better as time develops. Then I think it puts us in a really good spot. That's bizarre. The only striker to have scored is Macaulay Langstaff. We've had goals from Leonard, Kamal Grant, Kamil Negley scored 2. Kundal scored the winner at Sheffield United. Bangor Williams scored at Charlton. What the fuck is going on, man? What the fuck is going on? This is from bbc.co.uk. Mill having to tinker to get results, says Alex Neil. And there's an interview that you can play, but I'm not going to play it. I'm going to read it. Mill have had to change their approach to games while dealing with a number of injuries in the squad, says head coach Alex Neil. The Lions picked up their first home win of the season in the Championship by beating Watford 1-0 on Monday. But Neil feels if he had his full squad to choose from, they would be higher in the table than their current 10th place. The only frustration is with a fuller squad would have even more points on the board and would certainly be more creative in the final third, he told BBC Radio London. Leading up to the Watford game, you could sense a little bit of frustration and everything seemed a little down, but since that game the training ground has felt a different place, but nothing has changed apart from getting those 3 points. Midfielder Billy Mitchell and striker Mihailo Ivanovic are set to return to the squad for Saturday's trip to Swansea, and Neil thinks having to make so many changes already this season has shown the Lions can be flexible in their approach. We've tinkered with some things in terms of changing ship, so there's been a little tweaks that we've had to make to ensure with the guys coming into the team we play to their strengths. The lads have been brilliant in terms of the ones that we've been called into the team to play prominent roles and still get us results. So, yes, again, considering how many injuries we have had concurrently at the same time, the fact that we've done as well as we've done and the strikers haven't scored, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. So, hopefully, if we start getting players back, we can start turning it on. So, we'll see. So, this is the preview from millwallfc.co.uk, and they do say what we've just heard before. It's 12:30 kickoff, by the way. Alex Neil's side head for South Wales for the final game of September, looking to build a Monday night single goal victory against Watford and an unbeaten record away from home in 25-26. The head coach could have Billy Mitchell and Mihailo Ivanovic back in the squad for this game, but the fixture will likely come too soon for the likes of Dan Kelly, Casper De Norre, Lukas Jensens, Danny McNamara, Alfred Doughty and Femi Aziz remain long-term absentees, but are working their way back to full fitness. Isn't that good? Okay. Now, international match passes are on sale for the Swansea City visit. So if you are outside of the UK, you can buy a match pass and watch the game because it is not being selected for television broadcast around the world, but it is being shown in the UK on Sky Sports Plus. So if you have Sky Sports and you get it via Wi-Fi, you can get Sky Sports Plus. That's the streaming service. And as for the island as well, apparently internationally, you should be able to watch it on Bet365. In terms of the reason why they do that is they do in-play betting. So obviously they want you to, if you're going to watch the game, might likely to have a bet on it. So I don't know if that's going to apply to where you are, but maybe you could do that. But it's annoying. When you do that, that's really annoying. I don't know about Bet365, but with Ladbrokes, because they have a graphics that overlays, the picture, and with the prices, and because obviously they want you to bet, and you can click a thing to make it go away, but guess what? It comes back. They just bring it when the prices change or whatever. They bring it back. It's like, fucking hell, man, get off the screen. But obviously, it is what it is. So, let's move on to this. This is from EFL.com. It's the pre-match stat pack. So every match day, they're going to be doing this. They do it for the whole league, all of the games. I think it's for like commentators and people talking. They can say things and sound like they know what they're talking about. But they just get it from the EFL and they get it from here. So yeah, Swansea have lost their last 2 home league matches against Millwall, but they've never lost 3 in a row against the Lions before. Ooh, you want to bet? Bet responsibly. Millwall have won 4 of their last 5 league games against Swansea. Says League 1. Were they all in League 1? Including each of the last 3 by a 1-0 scoreline. Swansea are unbeaten in their last 7 home league games. 1-4 drawn 3 since a 2-0 loss to Burnley in March, and we know how good Burnley were last season. So man, they're pretty good at home then. They last had a longer run between October 2020 and February 2021. And I believe we're going to go into it in a minute. The October 2020, there was a Millwall game at Swansea, so that would have been part of that run. Millwall are unbeaten in their 3 away league games this season, 1-2 drawn 1, last having a longer run from the start of the second tier campaign in 95-96, where we went 9 away games unbeaten at the start of the season. So that would have been right up to November, wouldn't it? Something like that. Maybe. Wow. Okay. Wasn't that a bad season for us though? Or was no? What was the bad season? 96-97. The Billy Bond season where we nearly got relegated to League Two. Millwall's Mihajlo Ivanovic has had more shots without scoring than any other player in the Championship this season. 14. Last season he had the 3rd best conversion rate of any player with 50 plus shots in the division. 23.1%. Bruh, the guy's cooked. The guy's fucking cooked. He couldn't score in a brothel. What's happening, bruv? Do you want money or not? Do you want more money? Then here's an idea. Play football better than you are. And then money will be thrown at you. Simple as. Simple as. Score some fucking goals, mate. Come on, Ivanovic. Man, that is insane. Oh, God. Oh, luckily, he's coming back. He's going to be back in the squad. Joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Right, let's get into it. 11v11.com. This is the historical record of games between Swansea and Millwall. And I've sorted it as Swansea at home versus Millwall away. And back in the day, they used to be called Swansea Town. Because it was a town. And then, sometime, 60s, 70s, they were awarded city status and they changed their name to Swansea City. You can see, it's a fixture that's a bit streaky. We go 22, 24, we win, and then 25 a draw. But then we go 6 games losing from 29 to 33, including some hefty defeats, 4-1, 4-0. I think they look like the worst defeats that we've had down there. And then, we break it up with a draw, 1938, and then after the war, 1947, 3-0 win, that's nice. And then 48, a loss. We don't play them again until the 60s, 66, and that's a 2-0 win. And then again, there's a massive gap until 1985, and that's a 2-1 win. Yeah, and then we're not in the same division, so I assume they would have been in a higher division. We meet them in the FA Cup and lose 3-0. We meet them in the League Cup and lose 2-0. And that's part of a longer run of not winning a game against them. So much like the streak up here, there's another streak here where we go 5 games without a win from 1998 to 2007. In 2008, we do eventually win, and that's backed up by a draw. And then a loss, a win, a loss, and look, 3rd of October 2020. So that probably would have been part of that 13-game run where they were unbeaten at our home. But the last 4 games, a draw, 2021, a draw in 2022, a 1-0 win. That was at the end of the season. Tanganga got sent off, was it? And then last season, a 1-0 win as well. So we are currently 4 games to Swansea without losing. Because they are in a bit the doldrums. They did have... So round about here, where I would imagine they would have still had parachute money or something. And now, that's probably run out. And they've kind of, faded a bit. It's kind of gone. So they're kind of like low mid-table to lower mid-table. They are not really competing, are they? So there you go. Although bizarrely, they have had investment from, I think, Luka Modric, and there was some suggestion that he might go there to play, but he didn't. He went to Italy. And then Snoop Doggy Dogg, or whatever he's called now, he's invested in them. So that's weird. I think it's the Wrexham thing. They all want to do that, but they did it first. You're just copying them, and is it just because they're in Wales? Like, what's going to happen next? Is someone going to buy Total Network Solutions and move them to the English divisions? I don't know. Going to be weird. But they do play in England, don't they? They're just over the border, TNS. What are we doing? Oh yeah, okay. Moving on to this. This is from WhoScored.com. So here's the last 6 games. 2 games ago, 2024, that one, obviously Tanganga got sent off and their player got sent off as well. 2 red cards in the one game. So in these last 6 games away at Swansea, they've only scored 4 goals and we've only scored 6. It's a very low scoring affair. And I'm sure, the early kickoff is not going to remedy that. Maybe it's just me. I think the early kickoffs are a bit slow and a bit drab. I think people, the players look like they've just woken up, which is not ideal. And but again, look, 8 yellow cards for them, 15 for us, double the amount, But they've only won once, 2 draws and 3 wins for us. You can see a lot of clean sheets for us. 1, 2, 3, 4 clean sheets. We're going to keep a clean sheet tomorrow? I don't know. Bender had a good game last game. So this is scheduled to have a bit of a nightmare, this one. He's very, hot and cold, isn't he? One game he's blinding, the next game he's fucking dog shit. So, very inconsistent. That's the only thing consistent about him, is his inconsistency. Ironic, eh? So, the league table, let's have a look. Here it is. Middlesbrough up there still. Stoke, Leicester, Bristol City, Preston North End, West Bromwich Albion, who played today. And it was a 1-1 draw at home to Leicester. So, that helps us out if we win. If we win, we could go up to second. But it doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because you want to be second at the end of the year, the end of the season, not 2 months in. So we could go second tomorrow, but if we're not there at the end of the season, who gives a shit? But as you can see, 2 teams that are, next to each other in the table. We are 2 points ahead of them. So there is a bit of a difference. We've won 3 games. They've only won 2. Again, similarly like us, they're not free scoring. They've played 6 and scored 6. We've played 6 and scored 5. And we've conceded 7, but they've only conceded 5. So it looks like, they are very defence forward, defence first. So we'll see about that. Where are we going? We're going down. So having said that, though, although few of these are cup games, so there's a cup game there against Crawley. There's a cup game against No, that's not a cup game against Plymouth, and a cup game against Forest. They're scoring a lot of goals. They are scoring a lot of goals. Obviously, these are cup games, but they've scored in every home game here. Well, of course, because, they're unbeaten at home. They've only kept 1 clean sheet, though. And that's against Sheffield United. We know how bad they are, because we beat them up there, and they're rock bottom of the table. 006. 006. Do you think they're going to do a James Bond and lose this weekend and make it 007? That would be funny. But, I think Wild is turning it around. They only lost 1-0 last time out. And apparently that was late on. So, they are looking a bit more cohesive. But we'll see what happens. So, you can see, Swansea, a very good at home team. Very good at home. Very, very good at home team. But, they do concede. They've only kept one clean sheet. Whereas us, we've kept 2 clean sheets on the road, Newport and Sheffield United. But we've only scored 2 once, and that was in Norwich. So, yeah. If the strikers don't score tomorrow, I don't think we're scoring 2. Unless someone with a bit of nous and a bit of creativity starts, Bangor Williams or Smallbone looked good when he come on. Maybe he can be the difference, but I don't know. If it looks like the best we can do is score 1 goal. If the strikers don't score, that's all we're going to do. So then, we're going to need to keep a clean sheet to win the game. So I'm not sure we're going to do that. So here's the strengths and weaknesses. They're very good at counter-attacking. That might be a problem for us. Jake Cooper getting done on the counter-attack. He's not the quickest, is he? They're not good with the offside, so do we try to play offside against them? There you go. You can see that. Right. Okay, let's get into the prediction now from whoscored.com. Let's stop messing around. Come on, let's go. Get on with it. Okay, where are we? Okay, here we go. Swansea were heading for a respectable point on the road against reigning League One champions Birmingham last weekend before stoppage time. Lyndon Dykes' goal snatched the draw away from the Welsh club. Alan Sheehan's men remain unbeaten at home ahead of this clash with Millwall. Mill ended a run of back-to-back championship matches without a win on Monday night when they beat Watford 1-0 at the Den following an early Camille Negley goal. The Lions have taken 7 points from a possible 9 on the road, making them a dangerous opponent in game week 7. It looks like they've only got 2 goal scorers though. Ronald, not Ronaldo, Ronald and Vipotnik. Because they've got a player listed third with 0. He's the top. These are the top goal scorers, and the guy in third's got 0. So all of their goals have come from 2 players, which that's fucking easy to defend, isn't it? You see those 2 guys? They're the ones who you need to stop. Comprende? What's the French for tackle Ronaldo or Ronald? So there you go. Look at this. Look at the rating system. Well, obviously, it's whoscored.com rating system, so take that with a pinch of salt. But Crammer, 7.43. And the next best is Kundal with 6.83. That's a massive jump. There's a big gap there. Massive gap. And they say Swansea 1, Millwall 1. Okay. Swansea versus Mill from sportsmole.co.uk. We're going to skip all this for time, no offence to the person who wrote it, but right. They say Swansea City 1, Millwall 0. After a heartbreaking defeat at Birmingham last weekend, Swansea will be desperate to make amends in front of their home faithful on Saturday. Millwall had to dig deep to earn maximum points at the expense of Watford, meaning that the Lions may not be so energetic in South Wales. I think both of those predictions sound the most reasonable and the most likely to happen. So I would imagine if we can score, I think it's going to be 1-1. I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet. Depends, will we play 5 at the back? I don't know. We worked the other day away from home. They didn't play at home. So we'll see what we do. But if the strikers ain't scoring, the best we can do is 1. So if we do score 1, I think it's going to be 1-1. If we don't score, I think we're going to lose 1-0. So if you put a gun to my head and say, tell me the score now, Oh, don't shoot, I'll tell you. I should say, I think it's going to be 1-1. Yeah, I'll go 1-1. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.